Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, you are welcome to Digital Classes GVI. Today we are going to discuss a very important component of English writing, that is newspaper report writing. Newspaper report writing is a report that is based on facts. A report that is based on facts and published in newspaper. We call it as newspaper report. There are certain requirements in writing newspaper report. We'll discuss one by one. First it is headline. Second, byline. Third is lead para. Fourth, Paratoit. Fifth, eyewitness account. Sixth, expert opinion or future action. These are the 6 requirements of a good newspaper report writing. So let us discuss one by one. First, let us discuss headline. This headline must be written in present simple tense. Number 1 requirement. Number 2, avoid article or articles. It means we cannot use the a or an in news headline. Third is it should not be a sentence. Next, it should be catchy. So these are the requirements that we have to take care while drafting a news headline. Present simple tense is to be used. An or the is to be avoided. It should not be a sentence, and then it should be catchy and bold. So these are the 5 basic requirements of news headline. After that, after the news headline is done, sometimes we call it main lead. In journalist language, we call headlines as main lead, and the one who writes the main lead is called leader. Leader's job is to write news headlines, and he takes care of the tense that must be present simple. He has to avoid while drafting headline. Keep the eye that you are not using the or an, and it should not be a sentence, and it must attract the attention of the people. It must attract the attention of reader. Apart from it, if you are talking about the professional news headline, it is followed by pic or pictures of the incident or the event with caption. It adds authenticity to the newspaper report. So this is what headline is all about. The second after headline is how we write byline. Byline means name of correspondent or a reporter. In this section, you have to write the name of the reporter and the correspondent. Like for example, Sajad Abbas, then date 3rd March 2019 or whatever slash the name of the place. Sometimes there are joint correspondents. You can write Sajad Abbas and Shafiq Masood. So byline actually means the name of the correspondent or the reporter. It is followed by the date line and place where from you are writing. So this is our byline. Byline is the name of the correspondent or the reporter, like this, Sajad Abbas, then the date of the report and the place where from you are writing. If it is joint reporters, you can write both the names. This is all about the byline. Now, third is lead para. Lead para must answer, it must answer number 1, who, when, where, what, and why. So lead para is a paragraph that covers our questions, like it has to answer why it happened, what happened, where it happened, when it happened, who was affected. So lead para answers these questions. And it is not necessary that you will answer every question. At least you have to cover all these 3 or 4 questions. But it should be in brevity. Try to write the lead paragraph answering the questions very briefly. You don't have to give the details in the lead paragraph. That covers who, when, where, what, and why. Lead paragraph, the length of the lead paragraph leads to 30 to 50 words. So in these 30 to 50 words, you have to answer these questions. But keep one thing in mind, that you have to write it briefly. There is no need of giving the descriptions. But remember, we have to write factual details. Factual details of the incident or accident, whatever the case may be. So this is our lead paragraph. Now, the most important part of the newspaper report is para 1, para first, para 2. It answers how. Remember, in lead paragraph, you have to answer who, when, where, and why. But in para 2, you have to answer how. And smaller details in detail. You have to elaborate this paragraph, but in chronological order. So you have to maintain the sequence of the incidents or the sequence of the events that have happened, but you have to answer the how. And in this paragraph you can give the details, but remember it should have a sequence. It should have a sequence. You have to maintain the sequence and and coherence as well. So para 2 answers how, in which you have to give smaller details, and you can elaborate it to the extent unless it answers the how. But very important in para 2 is you have to write the events and the procedure or the process what you are writing how in chronological order. You have to maintain a sequence, and there should be coherence what you are writing. So para 2 is actually how to answer how. After para 2, one more important component is eyewitness account. Eyewitness account. In order to make your report writing, newspaper report, more authentic and interesting, you need to add 2 to 3 eyewitness account or their quotes. Eyewitness account is the person who has actually witnessed all that what has happened. You need to catch his words and refer him in the eyewitness account. It adds authenticity, it makes it more interesting, and in writing the newspaper the eyewitness account, it makes it more accurate. How to write eyewitness account? Use exact words of speaker in quote marks. If it is in the other language, if you are writing in English and the eyewitness account is giving his account in Kashmiri or Urdu, preserve the original words and then you can translate it. Translate for the sake of the audience or the readers, but you need to preserve the exact words of the eyewitness in the same language in which he has actually spoken. Second important thing in eyewitness account, somebody is not actually willing to give his name in the public. So if it is the case, you can write name change. For example, Mr. Abid has been our eyewitness. He is not interested, or by some reasons he is not willing to give his name. So you can write in place of Abid, you can write Abdul Rashid, then in braces name change, and preserve his quotes in the quote mark. So this is how eyewitness account makes it more authentic, makes it more interesting, and for a good newspaper report you must have 2 to 3 eyewitness who will help and support your newspaper report. And after that, is the last future plan or future action and expert opinion. In this section, you have to take the interview or the excerpts of the experts. You have to take their opinions. What should be the future opinion to stop such kind of incidents? And then you can also make the people aware about the future plans of the authorities or the government through the newspaper writing. Apart from all this, you need a good photograph of the incident with caption. And the language of the newspaper report must be lucid and formal, simple and formal. This is how we make newspaper report. There is a little bit change. If you want to write a magazine report that is also in your syllabus, there is only one small difference. Supposingly, if we are writing a newspaper report, it also starts with headline. But important thing is you have to drop the byline. Byline that we have used in newspaper report after headline. In magazine writing, this is to be dropped and used at the bottom of the paper. At the bottom. So, in newspaper report writing, headline comes after byline, but in magazine writing, this is written at the end, at the right side of the paper. Rest is the same. The only difference in newspaper report and magazine report writing is that byline is to be used in second after headline in newspaper report writing, but in case of magazine report writing, this byline comes at the end on the right side along with the name of the student, name, class, and also section if you're writing magazine report. And what are the other important things that we need to know about this newspaper report? This is first and foremost it is based on facts. So you need to go and fetch the facts from the place, from the market, from the ground. So you cannot make it on the table. It's not fictitious report. It is based on facts. So your facts must be accurate. And in case of newspaper report, it is written in columns. Remember, newspaper report is written in columns. It is not written in rows, it is written in columns. So, every newspaper report must have a headline, a byline, lead para that answers your questions 9 W's except how. In para 2, you have to answer particularly, specifically how. And in doing so, keep one thing in your mind, you have to write it in a chronological order. You have to maintain a sequence and coherence. Fifth one is eyewitness account, in which you have to find eyewitness and preserve their quotes in the language that they have spoken, but you can translate it for the sake of the audience. And then you need to take few bites or few opinions from the experts and their future action. And all that is summed up as a newspaper report, in which the language must be lucid and you have to use formal language. But again, I will say, a good news reporter must have a good photograph of the incident or event along with the caption. That makes it more authentic. This is how newspaper report is written. Thank you.